How's everyone doing out there tonight?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Got our Criterion crew here tonight. You guys feeling good after these pickups?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I am now.
Is the wallet hurting just a little bit for some people out there? I'm sure we'll talk about that here soon. But welcome, audience, to the channel. You guys know what tonight is. We got the Criterion post-game show. Works really simply. First round, we're going to go around the table here. How did the Criterion sale go for everybody? Just kind of share some quick stories, some, maybe some fun experiences we had out there in the wild. Round two, the main stuff here tonight, talking about our pickups. We're going to, maybe give you a quick little review or recommendation. Some of us may have these titles ranked here, so that's going to be a ton of fun. Maybe a rant or two in there as well, so I'm very excited for that. And then round three, everybody, what current or future sales are you looking forward to? Because I know I went wild on sales myself, so that's going to be awesome to talk about. And of course, if you love collecting Criterion, just like all of us out here on this panel, definitely smash that like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. If you love movies, you can unlock some thank you videos through Super Chats. Definitely check out memberships for like exclusive reviews and perks. I was doing some Criterion recommendation kind of verse matches for my members, like this or that, where I would compare two Criterion titles and decide who won. So if you've been missing those videos, that means you are not a member of the channel. So definitely consider memberships tonight. And you know what? I'm feeling so festive tonight. I think we can set up a little giveaway goal here tonight. I did just pick up the Columbia Classic Volume 4 set. And so I got digital codes for 6 movies in there, okay? 6 movies, that's pretty good, 4K digital codes. So if somebody wants to win that tonight, we got to meet a goal here tonight. I think we can get to at least $20 in either Super Chats or memberships. A mixture of both works fine. And then if we hit that goal, there we go. We will give that away. So definitely think about that out there, audience. But let's see who is joining here tonight. We got Adrian. Yo, Adrian. And then, of course, we got there. We got Craig and Jane Doe is out there. So this is an awesome
Nikki.
So great audience here tonight. So we are going to get here right away. We're not going to waste any time here. First round. So how did the Criterion sale go for everybody? So I went right away to my local Barnes & Noble. They actually seemed pretty well stocked, which I was pretty surprised at, because before I thought they were kind of downgrading, getting rid of titles. And this time I'm like, okay, they have a few more titles here I wasn't expecting. They had, some of the new stuff, some stuff that I'm like, oh, wow, I haven't seen this Criterion in a while. So it was a good mixture of the both. But yeah, that was cool for my little local kind of small Barnes & Noble. But the better experience was when I went to one like 45 minutes away. Lot larger of a selection, but there was actually people there shopping for physical media. It was amazing. People were looking at the Criterion titles. I was recording, of course, and people were like, oh, you got a YouTube channel? I'm like, yeah, I do. You got to be following me, right? But we got to talking about Criterions, giving each other recommendations, and I'm like, I miss that. That being in the wild with other physical media collectors, it was a beautiful thing. So I had some really great experiences. And I went like a Saturday evening. I'm like, oh, that was a happening time. Because I've been to that Barnes & Noble before on like a morning and like nobody's there. So Saturday evening is when the Criterion collectors go out. That's what I realized. So that was pretty cool. But I kept it simple this time. I picked up 5 titles. That was my goal. Pick up 5. And don't do any more than that. A few times I struggled, though. I'm like, ooh, should I get a 6th title, a 7th title? But then I'm like, okay, I won't stop, though, if I do that. So I stopped at 5, and I felt pretty good about that. But overall, very successful Barnes & Noble Criterion sale season for me. So I was very happy with that. How about you, Ryan? How did your experiences go out there at Barnes & Noble, or if you did online shopping?
No, I actually did a video. My first video I've done in like 3 months. It was good. I picked up 6 titles. My 5 original I had on my list. And then with that purchase, I ended up getting, I already had like $5 or $10 in stamps already. And then I got another 15 or something like that. So I went back and picked up a 4K that I wanted, that I had talked about in our last one. So I ended up picking up 6, which I technically only paid for 5, which is good. But it went really well. And like you said, there was a lot of people in my Barnes & Nobles actually looking at the Criterions. in my video, I don't think I really talked about it, maybe in the after thing, but my section has gotten smaller again. It used to be 20 rows, and then last year it got cut down to maybe 15 rows, and they moved the arrow over there. Well, now it's went down to almost 10 rows, and now they've got like the Kino Lorber. There we go. Kino Lorber, Arrow, Criterion, and then like Warner Archive, or just like some weird off-brand boutique stuff there too. And from what I've been hearing, that Barnes and Nobles might be getting A24 titles in there too.
Ooh.
It's a rumor. I know Walmart's been getting them, but I've also heard Barnes and Noble. So my section's been getting smaller. But like you said, the one thing I do look for is new titles I haven't seen before, so I can kind of get, oh, that looks interesting. Had a lot of new titles I hadn't seen before, so I was pretty happy about that too.
Oh, that's awesome. And I'm glad you reminded me about those reward points. I saved so much money this time. I still don't know how it works, but I felt like every other title I was getting $5 off. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'm getting these Criterions pretty cheap. So I used to be like diehard Amazon person over here. But for Criterion, I think you got to go Barnes & Noble for those points now. I'm really sold on, you got to get those Criterion for those points now.
I think it's every $20 you spend, you get a $5 coupon.
There you go. So you buy one Criterion tab, especially like a 4K, boom, you already have a $5 coupon. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. How about you, Steve? How'd it go for you?
Yeah, so I actually picked up 6 titles. I thought I had 7, but I had like the 4 that I picked up from the flash sale that from last, was it last month or the end of October? Yeah. So, but I had like $10 in rewards, rewards to spend on that too. So, but I kind of stuck to one director, and we'll talk about it later. But I'm happy with the ones I got it. And then obviously the last time we did a live stream, I had to repair my furnace, so it kind of that cost me a lot of money. So I kind of stopped my Criterion purchases for probably till February or so, unless I find some used somewhere. But when the next flash sale takes place, so, but overall I got what I wanted though. The ones that were on my list, and the wish list keeps growing too. So it's I'm not going to run out of movies anytime soon, and I've watched all the movies I purchased too. So, and I've enjoyed most of them.
The nice thing is there's always a sale just another 6 months from now, or the flash sale when it pops up. So it's just always around the corner. That's the cool thing about Criterion. You know when to expect it. But that's good. You got some titles in there. You use your reward points. What more can you ask for? I'm curious to see what the director is, because I feel like I'm going to have the same movies. I feel like Vin's going to have the same movies if I'm thinking of the same director. But we will see. Jeff, how did it go for you?
It went pretty good for me. I got 8, but I only got 6 from Barnes & Noble, because the moment the sale went on, I went to Barnes & Noble to look for one that I didn't talk about in the stream, because for some reason, as soon as the sale goes on, it just goes out of stock. They never will sell it half off. So I jumped on Amazon and bought it instead. But besides that, I found pretty much everything I was looking for, and then quite a bit more. I did not behave like I said I was going to.
I know you were coming into this. You're like, okay, I got a few Criterions here. I'm like, oh, you're going to be very tamed here. You're going to only get a few pickups. And you went wild. You were like, oh, this is the time. So
and I think I might get a couple more before the night's out.
It is the season, I always say. Now's the time to do it. Vin, how about you?
Went good. My Barnes & Noble's, my local one, is in the process of downsizing as well. So I think this was the first Criterion sale in a while that I can remember where I have not had the chance to interact with somebody in the wild, like you were talking about, Mike. I didn't have that this time. But overall, it went well. I feel like every sale has like a theme for me. Like last sale back in July, it was like, for me, it was the Jim Jarmusch. Like I got a bunch of Jarmusch titles. This time, it was Albert Brooks. So there was a couple different things going on with that. But every Criterion sale, there's always one title that just kind of stands above the rest, and it's like a 5-star film. And I have that 5-star film from this sale. So it was a good sale.
Man, I can't wait to hear your ranking. I got to hear that 5-star title, because when I think about my titles, I'm like, do I have any 5 stars in there? I don't think I would give any of these 5 stars.
One out of 8. I got 14. 1 out of 14 was 5-star.
Hey, a 5-star though is really good, especially if you're, tough on giving out 5 stars. I know me, I'm very rare on the 5 stars. So, all right, Johnny, how'd it go for you?
Mine was I was pleasantly surprised with my Criterion haul with my Barnes and Noble trip. Like everybody else's, mine is starting to scale back on what they actually have and what they're going to put out. I think I wanted to get the Albert Brooks, the Least Mother. Nope, they were completely sold out of the Albert Brooks films, and they were just putting in like one Blu-ray of one particular film and a 4K right next to it. So they're just cutting down on what they have. But I got 14 titles, but 13 of them I have here, and one of them I was informed that it was delivered to my house today. As you can see, I'm not at home. I'm in a hotel room, and it really sucked that I can't be there to see it.
And Johnny, did you pick these up on vacation then, or did you just bring them with you? Did you pack them? You're like, I got to bring my Criterions along.
Yeah, I brought them with me. I told my wife, because we were debating on when we were going to come down. I said, well, if we're coming down like this part of the week, I brought a separate backpack and threw all my Criterions that I picked up, and I put them in there. And I said, I got to show these off.
Oh man, that's awesome. So I'm glad the sale went well for everybody, it seems. So that's really good. That's always good to hear. So yes, Barnes & Noble definitely has their stuff together this year, and hopefully they stay around quite a long time so we can keep this going. Ben? I didn't know if you were going to say something. Oh, I'm like, yeah. Fingers crossed, knock on the wood, yes.
I think they're trying to fill the void of Best Buy.
Yeah.
And yeah, their pricing's not the greatest, but
yeah,
I was impressed with they had expanded or changed everything else around in all the other sections, and it looks like they've expanded more. Like I said, if they start doing A24, I've never seen Kino Lorber in store, and they had a bunch of those. And actually, at the beginning of the month, there was a 50% off Kino Lorber sale going on there as well. So I was kind of looking at some of those titles, which I think ended the second day of the Criterion sale or whatever. But I think they're trying to fill the void. Just hopefully somebody at the top realizes their prices might be a little So
yeah, if they can get the prices under control, and if they can get those boutique labels in there more consistently, very organized, with the reward system, it might be worth it to go pick up those boutique titles in store. If they had even Screen Factory stuff, I know maybe that's not their particular clientele usually, but could you imagine getting discounts on Screen Factory titles? Why not? Throw some Vinegar Syndrome in there. I don't care. The more the merrier, I always say. They could be the physical media movies. Physical media for everything. Books, movies, CDs, records. They could just be physical media for everything. That would be really cool. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, I wonder how consistent they stay as a distributor, Barnes & Nobles across the country, different states, because for me, they've downsized, and it's not even it seems like they're getting rid of it. They're in the process of getting rid of it. So I don't know, if it doesn't seem like that for you, Ryan. But for me, they're dwindling it down. There's more records. There's more vinyls, things like that. And there's no Kino on mine. They have Arrow, but nothing's organized, and it just seems like it's very clear to see for me in upstate New York that they are phasing it out. So I don't know if that's nationwide, but that's my experience locally for me.
When I'm wondering if it's store to store. So since I'm in Southern Indiana, the closest Barnes and Nobles to me is probably Indy, where Steve's at, St. Louis, Louisville, Nashville. I don't even know if Nashville even has one. I don't know why they wouldn't, but so that's 2.5 hours anyway to the next one. So I don't know if one of my stores, one of those, I don't want to say flagship, but because it's where it's located at, that they just provide more. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. If I had to guess,
a hub for stock.
If I had to guess, pessimistically as it seems, I would think that everything's going to just start to go down. Though, honestly, I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like in 2 or 3 years, it's going to be shot.
Oh man!
Yeah, we'll have to deal with Amazon and dealing with the Barnes and Noble website and everything like that.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. They need to figure something out with their website. Like, it's not bad, but there's no filtering whatsoever.
No, God, no. It takes forever to find the stuff you want. It's just irritating.
Oh, the Barnes and Noble app is terrible. It's terrible.
Yep. Can confirm.
Most of the retail apps are pretty bad though. Like Walmart's terrible too. So I don't know. I
Walmart's
don't know
better,
what's
though.
going on over there. I think Amazon is the most user friendly for just
Yeah.
interface and how to get through everything. Find what you need.
Even with Amazon here, this last like first quarter of the year, their app changed. When you went to go search 4K, it would pull up all their streaming stuff first. It no longer put physical media up there.
Yeah. You would have to
So,
specify like 4K Blu-ray or 4K
Yeah.
movie.
You had to be more specific.
That algorithm. All right. Well, hopefully there's still some hope out there. I do believe they're opening more Barnes and Noble stores. I don't know if they're all going to carry movies. I'm guessing some will, some won't, because I've been to Barnes and Nobles where they don't have any movies at all. So I guess I'm guessing store to store, but we'll see.
That is one thing I do like watching, like this time of the year, and seeing people's videos, and kind of you can see the ebb and flow of like, oh, this store has gotten more since last time, or this one's completely gone, or like I had to go to 3 before I found movies. So it's interesting to see how they're all different. And I don't understand that. You figure if you had a store that's owned by the same people across the board, like you would set every store up. Like I should be able to go to California, walk in, and it be set up almost similar to mine and have the same stuff. But it's weird that they do that.
Because I was surprised when you were saying you had your like arrows organized and Kino's organized, right, Ryan? Mine aren't organized at all at any of the stores I go to. They're all scattered around.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, did they do that on purpose? Because somebody might just be browsing a random studio title and be like, "Oh, I like this movie." Oh, and not even realize it's a boutique label, but just pick it up for the movie. I wonder if they're doing that intentionally or if they're just whatever, throw wherever you want. Yeah, it's very interesting. All right, well, let's get into round 2 here, talking about our pickups. And so once again, I have 5 titles here. So I have these all ranked. So I'll go in order, just saying a little bit about each film. Now, for the most part, I liked most of the movies here. Some I liked to love. So this was a very successful pickups, except for one. And this was a funny story. If you guys saw one of my videos on this, this was the one my wife helped choose. This will be probably the last time I do this. Oh, man. Okay. So here at the bottom is going to be Blood Simple.
I knew it. I knew it.
I should have known better, too. Because I'm not really a Coen Brothers fan. Like, I have Fargo, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty solid, but I don't love it. I know some people love it. It's in like their top favorite movies of all time. So most Coen Brothers movies to me, I'm like, yeah, they're pretty decent. They're fine. But I don't usually want to rewatch them a whole bunch of times. Oh my gosh. This was like the watered down version of like No Country for Old Men. I'm like, it's moving at a snail pace. You can tell the budget is terrible just with how certain camera angles look. And then when I watched the special features with the Coen Brothers talking, it even felt like they were talking trash on their own movie. They're like, oh yeah, we didn't know the lenses to use and we're just getting started. And I'm like, oh man, if you guys didn't even really appreciate your own movie, what do you think I'm going to think of it? So I'm usually, tougher on the lower budget stuff. I like higher budgets, more mainstream stuff. So like I said, it just moved at such a slow pace until I'll say the last 30 minutes was pretty good. But this movie felt like 2.5 hours long, and it definitely was not that long. But I know you guys like Blood Simple out there.
I can respect your comparison between that and No Country because it's far inferior to No Country, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've watched Blood Simple one time, and I remember not hating it, not loving it, but I honestly can't remember like a whole lot of specifics, which is not great. So it's lower on my Coen Brother ranking, but there are a good handful of Coen Brother films I adore. But Blood Simple, I wouldn't say is one.
I was going to say it's in the lower half for me too. I'd probably somewhere between 4 and 6. I mean, I will say though, for their first movie, they did a good job. I think we talked about that a little bit in the chat, but I mean, I kind of do agree. It is kind of slow. The blood, the gunshots, the blood thing that kind of threw me off a little bit, but it is what it is. It's their first movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's their first time out. I mean, give them a break.
not when I'm paid high prices.
Yeah.
It was cool seeing a young Frances McDormand in there. That was probably like the most noteworthy part for me. I'm like, oh, Frances McDormand, award-winning actress. That's awesome. But other than that, I'm just like, I'm like, I want to return it, but I kind of feel dirty doing that with a Criterion. So I'm like,
I appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, I'll just keep it for displayability at this point. I mean, the special features were good in there. They had those good special features. So I felt, you know what? I probably like the special features better than the movie. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah,
like if you're the Coen brothers and you've like evolved so much over the years and put out so much great films, when you go back to your like I can imagine for them when they go back and look at their first film, it's no wonder they hate it because they've grown so much, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, even with Miller's Crossing, they went and cut out. They cut out like
I hate Miller. I don't hate, but I don't enjoy Miller. That's probably my least favorite Coen is Miller's Crossing.
I like it less than Blood Simple, but I still like it though.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, Blood Simple is like number 6 for me. You know, it's not top 5, but it's I still like it though. I've liked it for years, even in DVD, back in the DVD days before before Criterion.
See, and I thought Miller's Cross. Everybody had hyped it up, and I watched it, and it was a slog for me. Like I thought it was okay. I think I might rank it one above Blood Simple, but they're both kind of mid for me.
Yeah, see, that's why I should not have blind bought that one. I should have done some research. I was like, okay, watch this between this and Bound. So I don't know if this would have been better than Bound for me, or I don't know. Why am I doing fireworks? There's no fireworks. Okay? So yeah, that was the choice that was made, unfortunately. All right, next up, and like I said, the rest of the titles I like the love, so this is really good. Now the next one, I don't know where I heard about this one from. It may have been one of you guys in a stream past, but it wasn't in store. But I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to get more comedies from the Criterion collection. I feel like with comedies, I have more of a chance of liking the movies. So let's go with this comedy of In-Laws. So I actually had to get it ordered to the store because they didn't have it in the store, and I wanted to get the points. So it took like a week or two to get in stock. But yeah, the In-Laws. So this was pretty funny. What's the main actor? Alan Arkinson, right?
Alan Arkin and Peter Falk.
There you go. Yeah. So they were pretty funny in the movie. It kind of opens like, oh, what's going to happen? Is this like a heist thriller? But then, yeah, it just turns into a screwball comedy where one is just pissing off the other one. And they basically like go to Honduras and all sorts of shenanigans and goofy things are happening. So it was pretty funny. I laughed a few times. I wouldn't say I was like hysterically laughing. Like it's one of my top comedies now. But I got the enjoyment out of it. So, yeah, I enjoyed the In-Laws. Have you guys seen this one before?
Yeah, I like it.
Saw it a long time ago, yeah.
And it was just Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray looked really nice. So, all right. And then the top 3 here. Of course, we were talking Albert Brooks. You got to have real life from the 70s. I thought this just was an interesting premise where, you know, they have the cameras, the funny looking camera. They're like kind of deep sea diver looking, and they're like creating reality TV. So they're getting these families and having them do stuff. And then the ending's so funny when he's setting stuff on fire. He's like, we got to get this for the television. I'm like, okay, this is really funny. So, yeah, I thought Real Life was pretty darn good. I'm sure you guys will talk more about this one. But yeah, Albert Brooks, I've just been really enjoying his films. And then I had to go back to Wes Anderson. I became a big Wes Anderson fan a couple Criterion sale seasons ago. So every time I try to pick up at least one title from him. So The Life Aquatic, I thought was pretty good. Typical Wes Anderson. So if you like Wes Anderson's humor, you're going to like this one. But it was kind of similar to Real Life, right? Like they're filming a movie. This one's like a documentary of sorts. So yeah, you know what you get with this. Great cast. Funny moments. So yeah, Life Aquatic, excellent. You guys like that one too?
It's like number 7 in Wes Anderson's ranking, but I still like it. Bill Murray's great. Always him.
Yeah, I don't think I would put it top 5 for Wes Anderson for me. Like, I mean, he has so many good ones with like Fantastic Mr. Fox and Rushmore and all of that.
Bombs.
Yeah, so this would be lower on the list, but I'm like, still pretty good. Still pretty good. So I like that one. And so yeah, my last one, of course, I'm sure you guys are going to talk about Mother, but oh man, this was so good. I know Johnny's like, I didn't get that one.
I didn't get any of his movies. They were sold out of them.
This was great. Oh my gosh. Albert Brooks, Debbie Reynolds, fantastic. I'm like, this reminds me of my mom when they're talking about like the frozen stuff on the ice cream and all keeping all, the molding and all of that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly like my mom. This is like perfect. So this one made me laugh the most. So this is why I had to put it at the top. It would just make me laugh nonstop. I could see myself revisiting it. Plus, it's a really modern movie. I did not know it was going to be like a 2000s movie because I'm like, oh, is this in black and white because of the cover? No, it's definitely in color. It's a modern movie for sure. So very good comedy. But yeah, that one was great. But those are my 5 titles. That's how I would rank them. But yeah, I'm pretty happy, satisfied with most of those overall, besides Blood Simple.
Oh.
All right, Ryan.
Right, like I said, I got 6. 2 of these I haven't got a chance to watch. 2 of them I did watch, and then 2 of them were upgrades from DVD that I've seen in the past. But first thing, I did get the girl fight with Michelle Rodriguez, which I think one of you guys watched this, didn't you?
I've watched it. I've watched it many times. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's pretty good then.
Does yours have the year and stuff on the spine?
No, it does not.
Mine
so
doesn't.
It is the misprinted. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess they're really not going to fix that.
Yeah. It's missing the title and everything there.
You know what? I didn't even realize that. Oh my gosh.
Mine has a title.
Right. Huh.
Yeah, well, it should say the Criterion Collection in the year. So it should be the year in the small box, and then it should say Criterion Collection in the long box.
Yeah, mine doesn't have it.
It's pretty neat. Next, the one Asian title I did pick up this time, Demon Pond, the Kabuki thing. I still haven't got to watch it either. I was going to watch something Saturday. I was actually going to watch Defending Your Life because everybody talked it up, and I've owned it since the last sale, and I ended up falling asleep Saturday night before I could ever get around to watching a movie. I did pick up the Gus Van Sant, To Die For.
Yes.
And this was interesting. I think I gave it a 6. It was cool to see all the young actors in this. Like this love triangle, murder for hire, not really murder for hire, but kill thy lover type story. It was pretty cool. I liked it. And of course, they announced a Gus Van Sant title for February. I was like, oh, we're going to get Elephant. No, Trickster Cowboy that, Imprint or somebody just put out earlier this year.
Yeah.
The score and soundtrack are great in that movie, though.
Yeah.
Yes. And I like the filming style. It's kind of like a documentary type thing, but not really. I do like how it was filmed. And a young Joaquin Phoenix and who was the other one? Matt Dillon.
Yeah. Matt Dillon, yeah.
Yeah. The other one I watched, this is the one that I got for free, The Long Good Friday. I didn't realize, I just thought this was a weird title, The Long Good Friday. I didn't realize they were actually referring to Good Friday.
Good Friday, yeah.
The holiday.
Yep.
Who was it? Was it Wilkie? Corey, yeah, I think Corey messaged me. He was like, or was it you, Steve?
Me, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Corey mentioned something to me about this too. You're right. It starts off weird.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was going in a completely different direction.
Yep.
And it ends up very ambiguous. I liked it. I liked Bob Hoskins in this because I think I've only ever watched him in comedies.
Mm-hmm.
And this had been popping up on lists. I've seen it like on 2 different lists earlier this year, like top British gangster movies that you needed to watch. That's why it was on my radar. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 7. It's a weird ride. It's not like super, super gangster, but there's like the elements of like gangsterism in it. It's pretty cool. I liked it. And then the 2 upgrades, which both these movies I rank high because I like them both, but picked up Happiness, which I think a few of you guys have picked up and watched as well. So it'd be interesting to hear your guys' takes on them.
I know. I keep getting cautioned not to pick that one up for me. They're like, it's not your type of taste. So I'm like, okay, all right.
It's a depressing movie, and it's very it's not like gratuitous, like graphic stuff, but it's graphic. And then I picked Harmony Korine's Gummo. I was so happy this got the 4K treatment. I know, Vin, you watched it, didn't you?
Yep.
And I told you it was going to be weird, and hopefully, I think you said you liked it.
I watched it.
Well,
That's as far as he's going to go with that.
I said I was happy they put it out. I told people if they pick it up, it's going to be weird.
So I knew what I was getting into, and it didn't surprise me in any way, but it was what I kind of expected that was going to be, and yeah.
yeah.
All right, so Steve.
All right, so yeah, I had never seen this one before, but I guess at number 6 I have Girl Fight. I did like this movie. It has like amateur boxing in it, and they do show a quick shot of the well, you see it in the when you start the movie. They show the Twin Towers, which anytime I see anything New York skyline, if I ever see the towers, always like that. But I really liked Michelle Rodriguez. I thought she's really good. I really liked her boxing coach in this movie too. The guy that played Jaime, I forgot his last name, but Torelli, I think is his last name. But I thought he was really great in that. So I just didn't. Obviously, she's a female boxer, and so this is before $1 Million Baby, like 4 years before that movie, and obviously, I think that writer was influenced by what happened in this. But it's a first time director, female director, and for what it is, I thought it was pretty good. It's something it might grow on me if I see it again, but it's my least favorite. But all of these are pretty good. So considering this is the first time seeing that, I liked it. Real Life at number 5.
The music in that is so zany. I was not I remember watching it and I remember bits and pieces of it, but I did not remember the soundtrack at all in that Girl Fight. There's a lot of saxophone in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Real Life. This one, this is an Albert Brooks debut film too. I did like the helmet cameras. I thought it was funny. I like the ending to it. It just some of the pacing's kind of weird. He says he coined the phrase mockumentary, just like this is Spinal Tap happened 5 years later in 1984. It's something this might grow on me, but as far as the Albert Brooks titles that I have, it's my least favorite of those. But still, I think for a debut film, I think he did pretty well on it. And then I had Mother at number 4, which I saw this movie back in the 90s. I enjoyed this movie. I liked his Albert Brooks take on the psychological element in the movie. What he figures out why his mother's kind of had an issue with him over the years, and they kind of work out their issues, and they find out his mother's like this great writer, and he kind of pulls that out of her, and they're able to both move on with their lives, and I like that a lot. So, and like I said, I'd only seen this like once, maybe twice back in the 90s, 96, and just seeing it again, I enjoyed it a lot more. But then the last 3 are like really great. So I have Lost in America at number 3. I love this movie a lot. This ends in a big city at the end of it. I enjoy that a lot. Number 2, I have Long Good Friday. But
I was gonna say I wanted to get Lost in America, but my Barnes didn't have it, and then on Amazon they didn't have it either. But I was on that Albert Brooks kick, so that's gonna be one I get next sale.
Yeah, I enjoy it. This is my second favorite from Albert Brooks. So, and but the number 1 is so great that it's hard to beat that one. But Julie Haggerty's in this from Airplane. She's really great. Played his wife in the movie. She's really good. And then the Long Good Friday. Like this is a blind buy. It's Spine number 26 in the Criterion collection. So it must have been on DVD at one time, and then they was brought out of print for a long time, and then they brought it back. And a lot of the special features are from Arrow, I think, on Arrow Video. Like they bought the rights to the special features or something like that from Arrow, and it's got the director's commentary on it, and Bob Hoskins is really great on it. It has Pierce Brosnan has a kind of small role in the movie, and it has a Belloc from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and obviously Helen Mirren's really good in this. This is like a year before Excalibur. She did that in 81. This is 1980. love that. It's a
Yeah, I
British.
didn't realize this was Spine 26. I thought this was a new one because Arrow just released the 4K, and I thought Criterion was just doing their version. I didn't realize that was 26.
Yeah, so it's really early. So I mean, they must have gotten the rights back, but I imagine it was out of print for years, and so I'm sure the DVD's not worth much now. But and then number one is Defending Your Life. That's my favorite Albert Brooks film. Just a really great. Love the cast in this movie. Yeah, Meryl Streep's really great in this movie too. And so, like I said, I hit Albert Brooks pretty hard. He was on my list, wish list. So I know I stole some of Vin's thunder there, but I agree with Mike. Defend Your Life is my favorite from him.
That's so good. I'm like, that's what started me with everything. I'm like, once I saw that, I'm like, I got to see everything now. All right, Jeff.
So I'll start off with the ones that I did talk about because I got all three of those. I ended up getting Rumblefish.
Okay.
Which I read the book in high school, along with Text and the Outsiders. I don't think I've ever seen this though, so it'll be a first time watch. But I like it. Great director, so that should be pretty good. And then I did end up getting Lord of the Flies. This was not a blind buy. I just did not realize it had a Criterion for the longest time because it's such a low spine number. It's like 43.
I'm surprised because it was out of print forever. So I guess they put it back into print.
I'm assuming so because I wasn't expecting to see it on the website, but it was. So I jumped right at that. And then of course my new release I got was Shape of Water. I do have the studio release, so I do want to compare them because I really enjoyed this movie. It has like BioShock vibes. If you play video games, it has like BioShock type vibes to me, which is a lot of underwater type of stuff. And then I guess the rest of them I never really talked about, but I wanted to get another new release, and I've never seen this one. I've seen a whole bunch of different ones, but I've never seen the original Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
So I decided to grab that because I mean, I know that it's not a very big upgrade from the Blu-ray, but since I didn't own it at all, I figured that was a good way to jump into it. And then I went thrifting and I found this, so I'm gonna throw it in just because it fits the month. But I found Spartacus sealed.
Nice.
Wow.
So I'm pretty excited about that one because you're not gonna find that anywhere anyways.
You said you got that thrifting? What was the
Yeah, I got it
for
$1.
Oh my goodness.
They
Seal,
had it in
sealed.
with their DVDs. They didn't realize it was like a Criterion or anything. So I just got it for $1.
Yeah, I didn't even know Spartacus was on it.
Yeah, it's 105. So
Yeah.
it's been out of print for a really long time, I guess. It has a 4K from Universal and even a Blu-ray, I think, from Universal. Because I don't think this has been in print since, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this DVD's been out of print since about 2005.
Well, Criterion had it like earlier this year. But then I talked about our last live stream that David Cronenberg picked up like last one, I think, when he did the bus tour where they've been doing for Criterion.
Yeah.
He was actually had Spartacus in his hand, and then now it's out of print on their website or currently unavailable.
And then I got this one I didn't even really know about. My son told me about this, and that's going to be Nanny. And I watched this one. This was a little crazy, but it was more of like a psychological thriller. And then when you get to the twist of it, as a parent, you just kind of jaw drop a bit. And I'll just leave it at that. But this was a really fun time. Like I really enjoyed this for like a horror type thriller. It's a newer movie. Like it came out in 2022, and it's like an Amazon original and a Blumhouse. So like it doesn't really fit the normal Criterion. But the vibes of the movie does, in my opinion. Like it's very indie. It feels very indie.
I think you just sold me on that one. I didn't know it was that modern of a movie. So
yeah. 2022. It came out last November as a new to the Criterion. It's $11.96.
Yeah, that one I've been tempted to get that one.
I had a good time with it. Like I said, I watched all the special features. It also has a short film by the director. It was a short film she did before this, and fits the same kind of vibes because this is basically about a bond between a mother and a son. And then the short film that's on it is about a bond between a mother and her kids. The twist on that is that they're vampires. So you kind of get two movies with it, and they're both really good. Now this next one, I'm just trying to dip into his films quite a bit more. This is now the oldest film that I own, and the only silent film I've ever watched, and that's going to be The Lodger.
Yeah,
Alfred Hitchcock. Man, this movie was freaking awesome. Like I said, I've never seen a silent film before, and I didn't realize it, but it has his next movie on it as well. So you get two Hitchcock films on this because it has what's the next one? I can't remember, but it whatever his next one is after The Lodger, because this is like his second or third film, and then the next one right after it, it's another silent film, but it's on there as just a supplement. And they're both 2K scans of them. So, but this was really good. It has a lot of tropes that you apparently, come to know Hitchcock. I've not seen a lot of Hitchcock stuff. I'm very, very green behind the ears for him.
See,
I've never seen
one's called Downhill, I think. Sure.
I've never seen that Criterion release. It's always interesting when I always get excited when I see a Criterion cover that I've never seen before, and I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's like that. It was really neat. I liked the artwork on it, but yeah, that's what it is. Steve, Downhill.
Yeah.
So and there's radio. There's also the radio play of this movie.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you want audio and you want dialogue, Alfred Hitchcock actually directed the radio play, and it's on here as well. So you get a whole bunch of stuff in this. Just in general, it's like getting 3 movies. Now the one that it's always out of stock. Like 12:03, the night that they went on sale, it was already out of stock. And I've been trying to get this for a while because I'm a huge Treat Williams fan, but that's going to be Smooth Talk. This movie set a whole tone for creeper movies. If it wasn't for this movie, there would be no Fear. There just wouldn't. And I find it crazy because I watched this, and then like a week later, I turned around and watched another movie that had Laura Dern playing Reese Witherspoon's mom, and I had just made the reference that one wouldn't exist without the other in terms of movies. So I thought that was kind of funny. But this is kind of a newer release to the Criterion as well. I didn't know this existed until I watched the Criterion closet, and like this spine just stuck out to me. It just pops. Like I don't have a lot of pink sitting on my shelf, so I'll be able to find this one pretty easy. And now the other one, I don't have it here, but a buddy of mine upgraded Paris, Texas. So I should have that sometime in the next couple of days. And then sitting on my cart right now, because they're giving double stamps, I have Wally and I Married a Witch in my cart. And I think I'm going to check out with both of those and kind of just cap off the month.
Good stuff.
Man,
Nice.
those were like the most interesting pickups. A lot of variety there, so that was really cool. And you gave us like more recommendations. I'm like, ooh, The Lodger. I like Hitchcock films, but I don't like silent films, so I don't know.
It's worth it. I mean, think about it this way: you get 2 silent films.
There you go.
Yeah.
2 silent films equals a talkie, I guess.
Like Vin said, I've never seen The Lodger. That's why I hope they don't get rid of physical media in stores, because being able to actually flip through and look at stuff, I think you actually mentally pick up more stuff versus just scrolling through a website, because you scroll too fast, you flip through a bunch of stuff, you don't pay attention. Yeah, I've never seen The Lodger. Like that would be something I would flip through there. I'd immediately pick that up and look at because I've never seen it before.
Yeah, it had an interesting cover to it. That's what kind of drew me to it. And then I seen Hitchcock's name in the corner, and I said, "Well, I'm trying to get a little more educated on Hitchcock, so why not? This is the time." So
yeah, I have too. I bought all 3 of the box sets, and you know how many Hitchcock movies I've watched in the last year and a half since those box sets came out?
No.
Big fat 0.
I watched like 20, but I've been really catching up this year. Yeah,
You got to start with Rear Window. That's the best. That's my
good
favorite.
one.
All right, Vin.
All right, so I got 14. I watched almost all of them, but the 2 I kind of ranked them. So the 2 that I am putting at the bottom, they're at the bottom because I haven't watched them. First one is Workmeister Harmonies. It seemed like an interesting premise, but it's kind of a 2.5 hour black and white foreign film. I haven't been ready for it quite yet, so I got to check this one out still. But that's on 4K.
A lot of people praised that when they announced that, so I'm guessing it's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see. And the other one I haven't watched, I have seen this film, but I haven't seen it in probably 16, 17 years, and that's Doctor Strangelove.
Wow.
I have it on 4K, and I have a different Blu-ray Steelbook, but Kubrick is one of my favorite, if not my favorite director. So I figured I just want to pick up this edition just because I want to have all of more Kubrick. More Kubrick is always a good thing. So I picked up this edition. All right, on to the stuff I've actually watched. And I'm sorry, Ryan, but out of the stuff I've watched, at the bottom coming in is Gummo. I like the cover. I like the purples. And again, I knew what I was getting into with this. I did know. But at the end of the day, it's just white trash being white trash. So
there was somebody that picked it up. I remember them reviewing it, and they liked it. So it wasn't you. So
well, hey, I'm glad to have seen it, and I certainly will keep it in the collection. I don't sell Criterions, no matter how much I hate them. I didn't hate this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like almost like a documentary style film, but it's just like an hour and a half of poor white people being poor and white.
Yeah. Harmony Korine is a very, very, and Larry Clark too, is a very acquired taste. Like Kids is probably the most accessible of theirs. Gummo and then Trash Humpers definitely are lower tier.
Wait, that was a title? Did you just say Trash Humpers?
Yeah, Trash Humpers. I showed it off last time.
Yeah, you showed it last time.
It's real, Mike. It's real.
Oh, like, wait, is that an analogy? Oh, yeah, you did show that.
Is.
Oh my gosh, what the heck?
Yep. Filmed by Harmony Korine.
All right, Ben, what do you got?
Now it's coming in just over Gummo, but I did like it. I did like it. Not as much as some of you guys, but next up is Defending Your Life.
Oh.
I picked up 4, I think, films that either starred Albert Brooks or were directed by him. I enjoyed this, but it was just a little bit too cliche-ish rom-com-y for me. I like the more... I mean, the best part about Albert Brooks is his really willingness to go into that self-deprecating Jewish humor that he's so good at. Which is featured here, but there are some other Brooks films I liked more. Right ahead of that, I put Broadcast News. Has everyone seen this?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Jeff has. Everyone else has.
I don't want to
spoil it, but there's something that happens at the end that I just don't agree with, and it kind of listen. It is what it is, but there's something that happens amongst the characters, and I'm just like, really, that's why, but. That aside, I did enjoy it. It was a good one.
Should that be on my watch list for the next sale?
I think so.
I think so. I thought it was pretty funny.
Above that, I put Mother. I enjoyed Mother. Again, more self-deprecating Jewish humor. Maybe to the highest extent in this film. Fantastic. I really enjoyed this one, Mother. We've talked about it tonight, but good one. Above that, Mike, get yourself ready here. Kane. Now, we were talking on a group chat. I watched this, and admittedly, it was midday. I was in the basement. It was dark. I had the fire heater on, and I was trying to fight to stay awake. But I can appreciate this for the film. You know what it was for the time it came out. But we were talking on the chat, and unfortunately for me, it was ruined by Family Guy.
Gosh, that movie is so freaking boring, though. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's so good. You got to appreciate it. You got to think about the time it came out." I'm like, is the movie good now or is it not good now? Am I going to be entertained or am I falling asleep? This leads to more falling asleep part. So I'm like,
It's not in my collection. If I ever find it out thrifting for dirt cheap, I'll pick it up. But one, it's been ruined for me as well. Like, I know the twist, and to me, it just looks like a fall asleep movie. So I will probably never buy it at full price or sale price.
Yeah, I mean, that makes Blood Simple look like something I want to rewatch 5 times before that. So,
Oh God, digging your own grave.
If you did dig into all the special features, I haven't yet, but if you really did dig into all the special features of how the film was made, it might be something that you would want to revisit, but I haven't done that quite yet, but we'll see. Next is one that I've seen for years and I've never picked it up. The cover always intrigued me, but I never bothered to grab it, and that is The Lure.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting film. It's essentially about 2 mermaids that come onto dry land and get jobs at a nightclub as singers, and they're fighting their urge to feed on humans. And it's a very unique, partly musical film, but it was pretty good.
So a little different than The Little Mermaid then.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of aquatic creatures, we have The Shape of Water. Has everyone seen this one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so
Yeah, like a sexually frustrated mute fish activist steals a fish man from a government facility to enact bestiality in her tub, and chaos ensues. But it was pretty good.
That's pretty accurate.
It's accurate, but Guillermo del Toro can pull anything off. Next one was my personal favorite from the Albert Brooks releases, Real Life. I just found this one so funny. I found his humor so great in this one, as he's kind of like trying to interact with the family, but not interfere too much and get his film made. Like you guys were touching on, the helmets were great. The ending was great with the fire. This one I just like the most out of the Albert Brooks stuff I picked up. So Real Life. And then we get into, I got 4 left. This one I really liked, Happiness. I love Philip Seymour Hoffman. I've heard some people really not like this film because it touches on pedophilia and it touches on certain elements that are tough to swallow. I know Ken hates this film, but
middle.
For me, it touches on some dark shit, but the whole film is dark. Like no storyline in this film is like not dark. It's all dark. So it all fits. It all fits. Give it a chance, Mike. If you hate it, I'll send you $20 on Venmo.
It's all suggestive, though. Yeah, it's not. They don't really show anything. It's all in your head.
Nothing. 3 more. Top 3. This was one I watched on Netflix, but I was finally able to find it on physical media, and it's Pinocchio. Great. Another Guillermo del Toro. Great film. What a dark ending, though. Like really, like. You couldn't have just ended it with them all being happy. You had to just like push it for another 5 minutes and explain in detail how he was going to be fucking alone forever. Anyways.
Screw you, Disney.
These last 2 are my favorite 2 of the sale. I love both of these films. Wim Wenders' Perfect Days.
Yeah.
It's just all about a guy living a simple life as a janitor, cleaning toilets.
Love it.
And he's listening to his favorite music. He's reading his favorite books. It's a very quiet, very personal, very simple story. And I just really connected with it. I think it has a fantastic ending. And this is one I would recommend to everybody. If you like slow burn, not a lot of shit happening, but just a beautiful film. And then my favorite, easily, the one I gave 5 stars, the same actor who played Barry Lyndon. He's in a Peter Bogdanovich film, Paper Moon.
Wow.
I watched this and 10 minutes in, I was like, I love this film and I know I'm going to love it. And that held true to the end. It's so funny. Like it's so subtly funny. The interactions between the 2 characters from beginning to end, like there's moments like literally like to make me laugh out loud is like so freaking rare. And this film does it in the subtlest of ways that actually made me like holler out loud. Like that's so funny. Like it's such a funny film, such a heartwarming film. Best film I've seen in quite a while. And you guys might not like it as much as I did, but I absolutely loved Paper Moon. So
I want to see it. Yeah.
Find it or to get it. Best film for me that I've seen in quite a while. I loved it.
Man,
I want few reviews I was going to say the few reviews I've seen on Letterboxd on it, everybody's been giving it really good scores. So,
yeah, it's Ryan O'Neal and Tatum O'Neal. His daughter, Ryan O'Neal, passed away earlier this year. Yeah, I definitely want to see that.
So didn't she get an Oscar for that?
think did she won? She won an Oscar, yeah.
I think she won an Oscar for that, didn't she?
Yeah, she peaked way too early in life, and
Yeah.
his daughter, yeah, Tatum O'Neal.
Yeah, Mike, I would say it's a comedy, but comedy, yeah, I would say it's a comedy.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love my comedies, so
It's like a road trip comedy where a father and daughter duo ripping people off on their way across, the country.
I'm sold. You just sold me right there. That's going to the card next time for sure.
And it has really nice digibook packaging as well.
Mm-hmm. It has a commentary by Peter Bogdanovich too. I enjoyed the Targets when I listened to that and some other stuff. I'm starting to catch up on his movies now, and now he's passed away too. So that's what I always say. That's what's so great about audio commentary. When the director's passed away, like you can hear their voice, forever. I've been, you do that with Robert Altman and Sidney Lumet, just to hear, John Hughes on the Ferris Bueller, just to hear your directors that have passed away. You can hear them on audio commentary forever, just like film is forever.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they like Paper Moon, it seems. So
yeah
definitely got to get that next time. Just to shout out a member here. Jason is a Patreon member. He says, I'm not familiar with that Lord of the Flies adaptation. I just jumped on their website and made that my final pickup of the sale.
Oh, wow.
It's so
All
good.
right.
So good.
Special product there. I'm going to put Paper Moon on my list.
Yeah, that Lord of the Flies, that's the original Lord of the Flies, right?
Yeah.
Where it's black and white. I remember that. I remember little Piggy in there, and like, I can't find my glasses, right? That's the one. I remember that. I watched that for school, I believe. All right, Johnny, you're up. All right, Johnny, what do you got?
I think Johnny's hotel Wi-Fi.
You
just
there,
crashed
Johnny?
on.
Did you freeze?
Right, I got 14. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe my hotel Wi-Fi. But my 13 titles here. I'm going to show you guys what I did get at home because I got the receipt for it. So I'm going to show you. If you want to put me up on the big screen, I'll show you what it is.
Let's see.
But this is the one that's supposed to be at home, and I finally got it.
I don't believe you.
The 4 trilogy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Literally had the receipts.
So that's the one. Yep, I got the receipts for it. So it should be at my house right now. And I know you guys, I said there's 3 I'm going to get for this new sale, and come hell or high water, I'm going to get them. So that was one of them. I've only seen 2 of the ones that I have here, so I'll go ahead and give you my rankings on those, and then the others I haven't even opened up, but I'll show them to you. But the one I liked it, but it's not the greatest thing I've seen was Girl Fight.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if you've seen Rocky or Raging Bull, don't go into this thinking you're going to get Rocky and Raging Bull.
Yeah, not great boxing.
But
It's better.
It's amateur boxing, but
Is it closer to $1 Million Baby?
$1 Million Baby is much better, but
Even less than that. This is like the very low budget, basic boxing.
Yeah, $1 Million Baby and Rocky, and they're all more polished than this, but this is supposed to be an indie film. It looks indie, but Michelle Rodriguez, I mean, she has that, as my wife says, resting bitch face. I mean, she has that look from this movie, her first one, all the way to now, and the Fast and Furious, where she just has an angry all day look. But she's really, really good in this. I especially love like her training scenes, like when she's training to be a fighter. I really love those scenes in the film. The music's really great. I could care less about her brother and all of her other friends, but she's the one who makes this stand out. Again, if you've seen it, who she fights at the end, I could care less about him.
Right. That's the part I didn't like.
I care more about her and her journey, and I thought it was really good. And it's spine number 1219. And the one I like the most out of the ones I've seen is spine number 1097. That's Love and Basketball.
Okay.
Love that one. Nice.
Oh God, it's my wife and I, we were watching it. She had never seen it before, and she was reading her book, and she just happened to look up, and then I see her slowly put her book down, and she's just watching it, and I'm like, this is like I don't want to say modern When Harry Met Sally, but it is so good. And the performances in here, Omar Epps and Sanaa Lathan, are just absolutely great. And yeah, I think I'm going to give this a 4.5 on my letterbox. This is absolutely great. When I first saw this, when it first came out, it's like, it's okay. Then after rewatching it, I'm like, this is really, really, really good.
When
Well,
did that come out? That was like early 90s. What?
Yeah,
2000.
early 90s.
Oh, it was 2000? I thought it was like
Yeah.
mid 90s or something like that.
Yeah, Johnny, I picked that one up last sale, and I was like, I know this is like a decent movie, but I watched it again when I picked it up in July, and I was like blown away. I was like, this is like one of the best coming of age romance films like I've ever seen. Like, I loved it so much.
Man,
And
you guys
it-
told me on that one. I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, Mike,
at
you
all.
would love loving basketball. You would love it.
Like
Oh,
when you're
man.
like a teenager, you know, you're watching this stuff, you're like, it's all right. But as you get older, you can relate more to what both of them are going through. You're like, oh, it's so moving. And it's when they play the game at the very end and he's like 2 out of 3. I'm like,
Oh my God. Don't spoil it for Mike. Don't spoil it for Mike. But as far as like coming of age, usually coming of age stories, you're centered around one person. This is like one of the only films I can think of where it's a coming of age story centered around a couple. And it's fantastic.
Man, I love coming of age stories and I like romance movies. So that's like perfect.
You're gonna love it, dude.
Yeah.
All right. This one is Spine 1201. I told you guys I was going to get it, and it's Pinocchio.
There you
go. Spine 1227, the one apparently I'm now famous for. Risky Business.
There you go. Finally.
Finally got it.
Good job.
Spine 738. I know a lot of people said this is one of the greatest screenplays that's ever been written. It's Tootsie.
Yep.
Spine 720. The Big Chill.
Oh, I still need to get that one.
Nice.
I've seen this once when I was a kid, and I thought it was it's decent, but I need to rewatch it. I can't wait to sit down and rewatch that again.
Oh, that restoration's so good. It'll be like watching it again for the first time anyways.
Oh, God, I can't wait to get into it. And I think it's got a commentary from Lawrence Kasdan. I think it's and the one that everybody picked up. I gotta have my bestiality.
Can we say that on YouTube? We just did.
Another one, I have never seen this, but ever since I saw Birdman, I was like, I have to watch this. It's a Morse Peros.
What is that? Let me zoom in on that. I've never even
Spanish?
seen that before.
So, Birdman, or The Virtue of Ignorance, or whatever it is, this is that director's first movie. And I've looked at it and looked at it and looked at it and looked at it, and I've passed on it every time. Eventually, I'm going to pick it up.
Is it in English or Spanish?
It's in Spanish with English subtitles.
Okay.
Another one.
He was like supposed to be with Del Toro, and who's the other guy? Rodriguez. He's like supposed to be like in their league as far as movie making.
Robert Rodriguez,
yeah.
This one does have a 4K. It's Spine 600, but I've never seen it. Anatomy of a Murder.
Well, that's a good one.
I want to see that. Yeah.
I know you guys have talked about this a lot, and this was my first Kurosawa addition to my collection. Ikiru.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yes, good one.
I heard you guys talk about it. I'm like, all right. I saw it when I was at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, all right, I'm getting it. Now, the next one, go on.
Hey, that's another one you got to be in the mood for. Like, I appreciate it, but it's like, buckle in, and you got to be in the mood.
Hours, yeah. Yeah, it's a longer
movie. The next
movie.
one, I've seen it, and I know it looks, after watching it, it looked weird, but I was so glad to see all of these people on screen at the same time, and I had to get it.
Yeah,
but
that's a long movie.
Just the de-aging on De Niro, it's unsettling.
Yeah,
but I had to add it because I love Marty and everything. Yeah. This one, you guys are talking about Gummo, but I hear no one talking about this.
Oh my god,
I want to get that one actually.
that's the one everybody says it's disturbing, and then
Yeah,
It's
I'm like,
disturbing.
I told a friend of mine, I said, you know what, I'm going to show this to my 12-year-old. He has no idea what he's in store for.
Oh my goodness.
no.
And my last one that I picked up, I wanted to get the Blu-ray, but as soon as they made it for 4K, I held off on it. And the Seven Samurai.
There you go. Good job.
So, yep, that's all I got.
That's my first Kurosawa too. And, yeah, I noticed with Del Toro, like he doesn't do commentary anymore. He did on his first 3 movies, and Pinocchio and Shape of Water. He didn't do any commentary. So I guess people are just not into commentary anymore, or Criterion's not bothering to even pay anybody to do it. I mean, he used to do the commentaries himself, and now he's like, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe they're not getting paid for it anymore, and he doesn't want to promote the movies like that, or doesn't feel like he needs to, I guess. But I enjoyed his commentaries on Kronos and Pan's Labyrinth, Devil's Backbone. I like the commentaries on those.
Which
they're all
is surprising because he's a huge advocate for physical media. You figured he'd want to put his words back on that stuff when it was released.
I would think so too. Yeah.
All right, so our third round here. What current or future sales are we looking forward to? Well, now I'm already looking forward to the next Criterion sale. I'm like, I gotta pick a Paper Moon. I gotta get Love and Basketball. I gotta get the Big Chill. I'm like, I already have a giant cart ready for the next sale. So, you guys convinced me on so many titles. It's gonna be tough to narrow it down. I'm like, can I exchange? I got Blood Simple here. Can I do a little exchange?
Yeah.
But yeah, for sales, I've been going wild on the Black Friday deals off of Amazon. I picked up a ton of stuff, like the Columbia Classics Volume 4 got down to such a good price. And then these 4Ks are like $12 now. And I'm like, ooh, yay. I waited for like Dune Part 2 to get cheap, Oppenheimer to get cheap. And so I've just been picking up all these titles. Oh, and then I discovered the buy 3 for the price of 2 on Amazon that they were doing. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a freaking phenomenal deal. So I've been picking up like Arrow titles. I picked up like 3 steelbooks for the price of 2. So I've been loving these holiday deals, and more deals keep popping up. But I said, okay, I'm going to stop right now. I've gotten enough. I think I'm good for a month. But oh my gosh, with the deals out there, it's like Dillapalooza. So that's the tough thing with Criterion in November, is you always have those holiday deals and sales right around the corner with it mixed in. And then now you got Kina Lorber doing their sale, and Arrow and all these other boutique labels. I'm like, okay, I think I got enough. I'm gonna pause. How about you, Ryan? You're good on sales for a while. Did you pick up enough to last a while?
Well, I've already got a list of 5 for the next Criterion sale because there's 2 coming out this month that I'm looking for. Eastern Condors, which is a Sammo Hung movie. So this will be Sammo Hung's first individual movie into the series. And then JoJo Dancer, the Richard Pryor movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that because that's been on DVD, out of print DVD forever. I don't think it's ever had a Blu-ray. But I was just about to look to see what was coming out in January and February because I already forgot. But my favorite sale at this time of the year is the Nova Media Winter Festival sale.
Wow.
Nova Media is out of South Korea, I'm pretty sure. 50% off a large selection of titles. Just what kind of gets it that off puts people is the shipping is outrageous. Like I'll spend, we'll say $150, so that's half for $75, but then shipping's going to be like $70. So you're still saving technically $75.
Wow.
But I mean, they put out awesome stuff. Like we got the Pig Steelbook with Nicolas Cage. This thing is just beautiful. But then they'd also do a bunch of, they're a repackaging company, but like Goodwill Hunting with an Amray case and a slip and all that, just nice stuff. And there's a bunch of Asian titles too that you just don't find in the States that I want to pick up. But it's a sale, but you got to be ready for the shipping shock.
And they never give you free shipping, right? Even if you get over a certain amount, they never.
No.
Oh man. All right, Steve.
Yeah, so I've got several titles. I don't have like a particular boutique label, but I see that the Groove has a good online sale right now. But a lot of stuff I want this month because it's Christmas time. A lot of the titles I want are like more of the mainstream titles. I've got like Trick or Treat. I've been trying to get the Synapse Trick or Treat. I didn't get the $66 one that they had for that, but there's going to be another one March 11th for that. And The Gift from, there's a couple of Sam Raimi movies, The Gift and A Simple Plan. I want to get Godzilla -1. I want to finally get that one. I've seen that twice now in the theater, and I want to get Godzilla A Quiet Place Part 3, or the third one, the day one. Saturday night, the Saturday Night Live movie. I want to get that. Alien Romulus, pick up those titles. So obviously the Criterion sale, the flash sale that happens in February would be the next, probably the big one. But these are definitely like Christmas type wish list kind of items that I kind of stopped buying stuff just because I know other people are going to get me like gift cards and stuff for Christmas. So I'm not going to buy them until closer to Christmas time. But yeah. Always looking for physical media, though. I'm just not the kind of collector that other people are. I don't buy movies every week just to,
You're smart with your money, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Go ahead and just say it.
Well, the one thing I see a lot of movies in the theater, so like I can kind of be picky with what I buy in physical media. I don't blind buy a ton of stuff. So I kind of know when I see people make videos and they say they pick up titles and stuff. I saw it in the theater. I don't know if I really want to see it again. But it's nice if you see something that you really like in the theater and you want to pick it up again, on physical media, that's when you enjoy it again, just to get the special features and see it in 4K.
Like that Saturday night was really good in the theater. I was very impressed by that movie. Nobody went to go see
Nobody
it.
did it. Nobody saw it,
It was so interesting. Like the making
Jason
of
Reitman.
the first Saturday night episode, I didn't know that went into it. I'm like, this is crazy. That's really cool. Yeah, that was a good one. How about you, Jeff?
I probably won't be trying to pay any attention to any sales until after Christmas. I have a few more Christmas gifts I got to get for my kids and stuff anyways. The next one that I'm probably looking forward to is, I believe last January, Barnes & Noble did a 50% off Arrow sale. So that's the next thing I'm kind of looking forward to, because last year I was able to get the Warriors on that sale. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get something real neat this year as well. So
which usually they follow the Criterion sale right up with the Arrow sale, but I know the last time it was bumped back a few weeks. So, and it started and just nobody's noticed.
No, I mean, I haven't seen it start yet. I know, like I said, I know last year, according to my order history, it was the second week of January.
Okay. So they moved it like a few weeks afterwards,
because
it used to overlap with the Criterion sale.
But I'm hoping to use some of the stamps I earned from this and just kind of maybe get me a free Arrow along with a few others. So that's the next thing I'm looking forward to. I like to save, buy 2 or 3 or 8, and then wait again.
Yeah, I hope my Barnes & Noble is actually stocked with a lot of Arrow titles. They're very hit or miss on what Arrow stuff they have, and it's, like I said, not organized at all. But I think last time, weren't they throwing in like a free tote bag if you got a certain amount? Something like that.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah. How about you, Vin?
Yeah, I'm fairly aware of most sales, whether it's Grove or Screen Factory or Kino or whoever's putting on a little sale. But the only sales I really like mentally think about and prioritize are the Criterion sales. So maybe there's a flash sale before July, but I mean, really the next thing I'll probably really focus on is the next Criterion sale. But I have a big Amazon cart, and when things drop in price, I get notifications. So sometimes I'll pick and choose from my Amazon cart what I want to purchase. But I've tried to be more mindful about what I buy as far as curating my collection and just kind of being more aware of, like, is this something I really want in the collection? And the only thing that gets a free pass, honestly, is Criterion. Like, I'll blind buy Criterion all day. Because I love having a big Criterion collection. But aside from Criterion, it's kind of like, do I want this? Is it a good movie? I try to be more like careful, especially with like like we're talking about how all these in-store shopping experiences are going down. Like Target's almost gone now. My Target's gone.
Yeah,
Mine's
mine's gone.
gone. Yeah.
My Barnes and Noble is gone. But while the brick and mortar stores are not carrying anymore, I also feel like these boutique label websites and studios, I don't know if they know it or not, but they're putting out, I almost feel like more. They're giving us more. And it's tough to be like, I don't need this, you know, but I'm getting pretty good at saying I don't need this and focusing on what I really want. So that's kind of where I'm at. Plus,
Yeah.
I'm at capacity with my wall space. Like I'm pretty much, I'm close to out of space. So I got to do another purge and get rid of stuff. You know, I'm not trying to tear down a staircase to make more walls and put a ladder.
You gotta hang them from the ceiling.
Yeah. So,
Oh yeah.
you know,
But that's the best way to do it. I mean, to really find out like what boutique labels you like, focus on those. Like, I know I'm not like a Vinegar Syndrome person. Like, everybody's like, oh, the game sold out, you know? I'm like, I don't care.
yeah.
It's not matter to me.
Right.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Vinegar Syndrome puts out some of the best packaging in the game, and it's tempting because it's such beautiful packaging.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, the film is a one-time watch at best, and then you're stuck there with something you paid $50 for. You're never going to watch it again.
Oh my god, those prices are so wild. I think I've got that. I only have 5 titles from Vinegar Syndrome. I think I got them all pretty cheap, like 25 maybe. But I always get the cheap watered down one. I don't ever get the fancy packaging ones for the most part. But
Yeah,
it's like
I've been keeping up on the VSU line. They're like $50 a pop, and I think that I have 9 of them. Is there 9 out? I have 8 or 9. I have them all up to date.
I think there's 12. I think there's 12 now.
12. I have Congo. I have them all essentially. But out of the 12, including Kong, if there's 12, I'm not sure if there's that many, but most of the films are. I'd never want to watch them ever again. Besides, like
Congos, yeah.
See, I feel good about the ones I've got. I got like Sidekicks and Drop Dead Fred and Roadhouse and Little Darlings. I'm like, oh, these are all ones I will watch again.
Like, you got movies that aren't like bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Johnny, how about you?
Oh, I'm the same. It's just like I'm anticipating like the next Criterion sale, but you know, to kind of piggyback off of it, I'm running out of space, and my wife's already given me the go ahead to say, all right, go ahead and get you another shelf. So I'm like, okay, if I get me another shelf, that means I'm going to be tempted to start filling it with other, shit that I don't want. I'm like, I think I might dial it back a little bit, and I might do an Arrow sale because I really like their transfers. But other than that, it's just going to be the Criterion. I'll just do Criterion. That's about it.
Yeah, and don't stress about the deals out there, people, like audience that's watching. I know sometimes when you first get into the collecting game, you're like, oh, there's a sale or there's a deal here. I have to pick it up just because it's half off or whatever. Only pick it up if you're going to watch the movie and you're going to enjoy the movie. Like, even though there's 4Ks right now for $12, if you have no interest in that movie, like, let it go. That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes I'll even fall to it. I'll be like, ooh, $12 seems so good. I don't know if I care about the movie, but the deal seems so good.
There are great deals. Like if somebody who's brand new to collecting, and let's say you don't have any movies and you just bought your first 4K TV and 4K disc player. If you go on Amazon right now, there's like 50 amazing 4K films that are like $9.99, like all-time classics. Like, oh man, I wish I just started collecting because I would have saved so much money.
Oh yeah.
That's
You always gotta wait. You always gotta wait for the discounts there. Like I know people bought Oppenheimer when it was like 30 plus, right? And I'm like, I got it for like $12. I'll take it. All right, well, we'll just go around real quick then. Let the audience know where they can find you. If you got any upcoming projects, any fun stuff like that. Ryan, what do you got going on?
Not a whole lot. Instagram, of course, Steelbook Mondays, Fresh Friday Driving Jam, and the Sunday Spin. I was going to try to get a video out this week because I missed last week, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm going to try to work on something for next week. I got some more stuff in the mail. So that's pretty much it. I got to reorganize too. I'm going to try to do that tonight before I go to bed because I've got There we go. All that stuff to put up on the bottom shelf
Yeah.
that's been sitting there.
I know I still need to put stuff away. I'm like, I have these stacks of movies right next to me, and I'm like, oh, it takes so much time to put these away, but I need to do it.
We all have stacks, right? That's
Oh, yeah.
normal. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. All right, Steve, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm Excelsior Movie Reviews on Instagram. I chat with all you guys at Instagram all the time. It's a lot of fun. Letterbox, the same title, and YouTube, Excelsior Movie Reviews. And I'm probably going to do probably the first time I'm going to do like a review of like movies I've seen in the theater recently for the month of November. I couldn't believe this past weekend going to the theater and seeing parking lot like packed with people in like two different theaters. I haven't seen that. And one theater, like even on a Saturday afternoon, you might get 50 cars there. And this past weekend, it had almost the full parking lot was packed with people. Like, people got out for Thanksgiving, the holiday, for some reason. They got out for that, and to see Wicked and some of these Moana 2 and all that stuff. It seems to be drawing people out of their homes to go see movies. So it was nice to see that. And then the other last thing, when I bought a lot of my Criterions on 4K, a couple years ago, like I didn't have a 4K player or TV at the time. So now I'm going back and I've got like 10 films. This is like 7 left that I have. Actually watching the 4Ks of them again. So it's always fun to get the movies off the shelf and watch them again instead of just watch them once or twice and then let them sit on your shelf and never watch them again, or maybe every now and then pick them up. But it's been fun just kind of revisiting like the Red Shoes. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the Red Shoes.
I've heard it. I haven't seen it yet.
No.
Involved with that. So, and Raging Bull, watching this again. So that's what I'm going to be doing this week or so.
All right, how about Jeff?
Well, John Doe Juggalo literally everywhere. I have a video that on Wednesday, like I have for every Wednesday for basically the last year. And I'll be in some other people's chats and on some other live streams, but I'm not sure when those are yet. I'll just be sharing those on Instagram. I try to post every day on Instagram. So, but I'll just be hanging out in everybody's chats.
Vin.
Best place to probably keep up with me is Instagram, Hard Copy Blues. I oftentimes post what I watch on there and what I buy on there. I do have a Letterbox account under a different name, but if you follow me on Instagram, you'll find that link as well. So I'm pretty good at keeping up on everything I watch it. I log it on Letterbox, and if the mood strikes me, I'll share it on Instagram. So that's the best place to find me. And who knows, maybe I'll get back into this YouTube content create game someday.
How about you, Johnny?
You can find me here. I'm more active on Instagram, Johnny _likes_movies. I am on Letterbox. I'm planning to do a hangout in a hall where I'm just going to show off everything I picked up, not only here on the Criterion sale, but everything that I've picked up since I moved from my last house to where I'm at now. I'm going to show off because I got a whole bunch of crap that I want to show you guys. I haven't even opened half of it. It's probably been moving. I've been so busy, and probably try to ask my wife to join me in that because she likes participating in my hangout in the hall. I think I tell her that everybody, they love her. They just tolerate me, and show off what I've got. I have no idea if I'm going to be on anybody's lives anymore. I don't know. I haven't been in contact with where I've been moving and everything. So, that's what I got.
And audience, everybody's channel links are in the description below, so definitely visit their channels, check out the content, watch the videos, and just have a good old time. You guys know me, of course, tons of videos, tons of live streams. I've done a lot of Criterion rankings and recommendations, so you can definitely search the channel for all that content. If you love Criterion and you want to see, once again, more member exclusive stuff, definitely consider those memberships. You get more control over the channel's content. You get to give recommendations. So if you're like, hey, why haven't you done this franchise ranking stream yet? Or why can't you break down this director's entire filmography? Like, why aren't you going to do a Stanley Kubrick stream? Well, if you become a high tier member and you request that, boom, that happens next month. And I'm sure I could get Vin on a Kubrick stream. See how that works, right? So, guys, definitely consider the memberships out there if you want even more awesome content from the channel. And maybe you're just visiting for the first time and you haven't even hit the subscribe button or notification bells. Well, definitely do that so you can stay entertained and update on all physical media topics and movie amazingness. So, yeah, 'tis the season. So definitely spread holiday cheer out there, people. Do your part to make the world a better place, and have a great night and go watch your Criterions you picked up. Peace out, everybody.